Hi everyone. Today I'm going to break out the Gelli plate and show you how I created one large master sheet to create all of this ephemera. Cards, tags, labels, pockets, and stay tuned to the very end of this video because one card is not like the others. Hi, I'm Christine, the artist behind our list of designs, and I'm glad you're here. Welcome.
Okay, I have all these scraps from a project that I did. I did a collaboration with Tanya from my traveling journal group, and we had to use mail from the previous week. Just mail and then some of our supplies, like scissors and markers and stuff like that. So I have these cool insides of the envelopes, and I love these because most of them I find are black and white, and these have an olive print. Here's the black and white. And then I used some Amazon packaging, and she actually sent me a birthday card and said, you can use the stuff that I sent you. So I wasn't going to. I was going to go full on just mail, but I didn't get a lot of mail last week for whatever reason. So I decided to use a couple of papers that were in one of the books that she sent me. So I'm just going to start layering these on this Gelli plate. And then, of course, I've had these numbers sticking around, and they're labels. They're on labels. So we're going to see if I can get those to stick, because I love my numbers in my collages. So I think I'm going to stick that down right away and hope this is totally an experiment to see if this is going to stick. So I'll put a couple of these. I don't want them all to, I want them to kind of be buried under the layers, but we'll put a couple. And they look like they're going to stick pretty well that way, as long as I don't put anything on top of them, because they are sticky on that side. And I'm just going to start layering. We'll put, I think I'm going to do one of these butterflies. I think that would be cool. I might do a few of these. And I don't know. I think I should stick to some neutral colors, so I'm going to put it with this gold polka dot side down. Now I want that one to show all the way, so I'm going to not layer that. And maybe another little piece of butterfly over here, and I don't even care which way it goes, because in the end I'm going to cut this up. So I'll just have little pieces of hints of butterflies. I have no idea how that's going to look, but we're going to find out. Well, I think I changed my mind about that, because I think I want to layer, I can't remember how she did it. I think she layered everything and then put a Mod Podge over. So I'm not going to overlap anything. I overlap that just because that's already a sticker. Let's do a little of this mail. Actually, that's kind of cool. I'm going to flip that over and use that side. And then we'll put some of these pieces in there. There's one other piece that I used in my journal layout. Let's put some of this behind here. I love these Gelli plates, and I'm not always successful with it, but it's so fun to play with. And even, there's another really cool, let's do that side. It's fun to play with, and even though I know I'm fully prepared to not be successful each time, I always learn something new. And when you do get a nice little surprise and have a beautiful page turn out. It's so super exciting. Okay, I'm gonna go grab my stuff to put a layer of Mod Podge on here. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little on here. Actually, I think this is matte gel medium. Oh boy, my family's looking for me. Just a layer real quick and then I'll let this dry. So I just want to show you that I put way too much on, so I'm just going to take this off a little bit. And some of these things may not stay down, I don't know, but I'm just going to keep layering and hope that the layers keep everything on there. And even if I get these little bubbles, I'm just going to keep on going. Let this dry and put another layer on top, and hopefully it will either be a really cool effect or maybe it'll just disappear altogether. So we will see. I always watch these videos and then jump in and just try things without knowing exactly. I probably don't remember everything that she said, but that's okay, because the more you play and the more mistakes you make, the more you understand how it works. And sometimes the mistakes provide really cool results. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go and let this dry and see what my family needs, and I'll come back when this is ready for the next layer. Okay, so how many of you can relate? Already, with distractions because it's Saturday, I've made a bunch of mistakes. So I think I remember that you need that to make the next layer stick. So I'm not going to let it dry all the way, but I am going to leave what was already drying because we'll just see what happens. And then the next one, I will learn from my mistakes and we'll see if I can do a better one if this one doesn't come out very well. So I said I was going to stay neutral, but then I pulled out my tissue paper and I think aqua is neutral. So, you know, in my world it is. So I'm going to put some of this tissue paper in here that I scribbled on. I was using it to clean off my pen when I was working on something else. So we'll see. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here on this project, and one of the reasons why I like to not go and really study what someone's teaching on a YouTube channel, and I like to just jump in, is because you do make a lot of mistakes and you learn from it and get cool effects. Thank you, Skylar. Sure. Skylar just went and got me a flower from the tree outside. Thank you.
And you need to put down in water.
Oh, she's going to go put it in water for me. That's awesome. Yeah, so I like to kind of blindly try things that I see, because then you learn quicker because you make all the mistakes, and then I'll go back and I'll rewatch it and I'll see what I've done wrong. But I learn from making mistakes a lot quicker than if I really follow directions. And I'm just using my finger to add glue. Hold on, Grandpa Bob's here. Okay, let's try this again. So I'm just, what was I saying? Oh, I like to see what results you get from making all the mistakes. I'm just using my finger to kind of make sure that this is down, and then I'll go over it with another layer of glue and another layer of paper. I do use my hands a lot when I'm collaging, and yes, I do have to do my nails often. Very often, because especially when you're using matte medium, it's very difficult to get off of your nails. So, okay, let's add some more layers. I think I kind of like, I was going to use this for an envelope, but I really like this kind of stuff for this collage. And I'm going to put down a little more of this, and way less than I did before because that was a lot. I'm going to put it on here. And hopefully this one won't separate like the first layer. This is a brand new jelly plate, so it's going to give you that cool separation that you get. Okay, I'm going to relay this one because that's not good. Put that in there. What are you doing, Skylar? Looking? You're just looking? Okay, that's cool. This is a cool piece. Oh, I like that too. A little bit of writing in there. And then I love that. Let's put that in here.
Yeah, do you want this on your painting?
Do I want this on my painting? Well, she's asking me if I want ribbon, and I think that we should do that in a project, but right now I'm just using scraps. You know what I think I'm going to do? Let's get this brush out. I think I'm just going to do this a little at a time. I think that will, oh, that's too much brown right there. Where do I need brown? Maybe right here. Oh yeah, this, I like this better.
Do you want some
just like a collage, so.
You want some of this?
Nope, not yet. We're going to make a few of these, so how about when we do another one, I let you pick the stuff to go on it.
Yeah.
I want to see how this works before I start adding a bunch of stuff on it. But that's a very good idea.
And we put the seed on it.
There's some more little numbers here. I like that.
And
We'll put that right over here, maybe.
we have to put this on your thing.
I want to do one with a lot of large numbers. So that one's green on the other side. Let's do some black and white on this side.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Very good. She's reading a birthday card. Happy birthday to Lala. It sounds like she's saying ya ya, but it's Lala. So, my first grandson and my step grandchildren called me Glammy. And then my grandson called me Lala. And then Skylar came along and it sounds like ya ya. So sometimes the older ones call me Glammy, Lala, ya ya.
Yeah, also Danny.
Granny. Yeah, my granny's name was Granny, and my great granny's name was Granny.
Okay, you need to pick what you will want.
Okay, let's get some other stuff in here. We need, oh yeah, let's use some of this. This goes well over here. What is that? Oh, okay, we can use this, even though it's not, well, you know what, let's do a colorful one next. She's telling me to use the napkin, which I think would be really, really super, well.
Who are you talking to?
I am talking to YouTube. Say hi, YouTube family.
Hi.
Well, they can't hear you. Say it. Say
Hi.
hi.
Okay, what else do you think?
I mean, sometimes you just gotta roll with what you got, right? And
How about this
today
one?
we have Skylar. Well, let's do a color one next. I'm trying to stay somewhat neutral here, and that's got a lot of bright colors in it. Even though I do have some blue in that and that tissue paper. All right, let's put some more numbers down. I'll take a couple of these. I'm hoping that these numbers don't stain my plate. They might, but I have one stained plate. Yeah, it's a little distracting when I'm trying to do certain things, but it doesn't hurt. Maybe on the next one. She's finding sequins. Oh, that's too close to those numbers. Ooh, let's put it up here in the corner.
Let me find some that's actually bigger. Hold
Mm-hmm.
on.
Let's do that. Maybe some numbers showing up through the butterfly. Here's some more green. Skylar's going through all of my drawers and cabinets, pulling stuff out. We're going to have sequins all over the art room. This is, well, I did add one here. I don't want to add another one. Let's see. Where can I, down here. Another corner piece. Maybe this way. Yeah, it's quite tricky to get these stickers on. But this matte gel is very helpful to keep it down. Let's find another, oh, here's another spot. What else can we use, she says. Okay, let me go find, and I want some of this to dry a little bit. We've got a little bit of wrinkling here. So we'll see if that helps. Okay, I'm gonna go look for some more fun stuff because I'm running out of scraps here, and I'll be right back. Okay, I had in my scraps some tissue paper that I got off of Amazon, and I will put the link for this below. And if you click on that link, it's an Amazon affiliate link. So you will be helping to support my channel, and I make it easy for you to find the stuff that I'm using if you're interested and you want to go find it for yourself. I just started with Amazon affiliates again. Before, I really didn't have a lot of followers, so I was not able to meet my quota. So I waited a little while and let it go, and I'm trying again. So if I got it on Amazon, you will find the link below. If I didn't find it on Amazon, I will try and link where I get the items that I'm using. But I'm an Amazon addict, so you're probably going to find most of my stuff linked from Amazon. I think this is going to be cool showing through. I don't know what it is about newspaper and text that I love so much, but I use this stuff a lot, and I do love that with the, especially the ones with the white backgrounds, it just disappears, the tissue, the negative part, and then text shows up on its own for the most part. This has a little bit of color to it, so it's probably going to give it a more vintage look. I am ready to be done with this one to see what happens here. Of course, I'm going to have to let this dry completely, so I will save this video and set this aside to dry, and then I will come back and show you as I peel it up to see what happens. And then I'll go watch the tutorial again and then come back and do another one the right way. But we'll see what happens with each thing that I lay down. Some of this might not look great, some of it, and the cool thing is that my plan is to cut these apart to make tags and what you doing? Drinking juice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? What kind of juice are you drinking? Oh, what is that? Apple juice. Apple pineapple. I guess that's a fruit juice. I'm going to use these to create tags and journaling cards.
So that means this
So if there's...
So that means this is healthy for us?
Apple juice is healthy for you, yes. So if there's parts of this that I don't like, I can just cut it away. Or I can put some paint on the jelly plate and do another layer from the other side. So that'll be cool. We'll just see what happens. So I have friends that have jelly plates and they've never used them because they're afraid that it's not going to work out. But it's okay. You just have to experiment and play. So don't be afraid. And almost all the time, even if... Okay, Skylar's playing with my light. Even if it doesn't come out well, there's so many ways that you can save it and make it look better. Painting over and just using your mess as the background. So, okay, I'm gonna finish a few more pieces and I'm gonna let this dry, and I will come back when it's completely dried and we'll pull it off and see what the other side looks like, okay? Okay, it's been a few hours and I don't know if it's 100% dry. My gut tells me to leave it, but I don't want to. I want to see if I can peel this up yet. Definitely want to try and get this off the edges so it doesn't tear it. Okay. Uh-oh. I don't think it's quite dry. Oh man.
Okay, but what is it?
As you can see here, I'm having a really hard time getting this pulled up. I think I needed to let it dry a little bit more, but I'm not really worried here since I'm probably going to stamp over it. I'm cutting this up into little pieces, and I've got things to do, places to go, people to see. I need this to be separated right now. But I'm just going to keep slowly working on it and rock it back and forth and scrape it off as I pull it up. But overall, it looks like it's going to work out nicely. I'm happy with this. And wherever the pieces ripped as I pulled it up, I can glue things on top of those areas. Now that I have that part finished, I'm going to go over the piece with some stamps. And I like to use paint to stamp over these because they're not really smooth and flat. And when I use paint with the brayer on the stamps, it seems to fill in a little bit better. It's not quite as crisp and clean as if I were to use an ink pad, but in this case, I just find that it works better. As you see on the right, I was looking for my stamps, and the drawer next to it had a bunch of pieces that I've already started, and this was similar to the one that I'm working on now, so I pulled that out so I can work on it at the same time. The difference between these two is the one on the left I used the Gelli plate, and the one on the right I just layered pieces on top of, I believe it was just regular copy paper. I like the one on the left because it's a little more random. You can't see what you're working on because it's working from the bottom up. So you think less. And I don't know, sometimes I think you get a better effect. The other way is fine too, but it's a little bit thicker. And I like that the one on the left is much thinner because it's probably a lot of it's going to go into a journal, and I don't want thick pieces that fill my book up too quickly. So here I'm just using some of my handmade stencils, and if you haven't watched that video, I'll link that below. It seemed to be a favorite, and it's really fun and addictive to create these stencils. But I'm just randomly putting some of these over some of the spots that I wasn't in love with or that ripped when I pulled it up, so it'll cover those little mistakes. If you've never created a masterboard like this, you should definitely try it. And I have another video of a different way that you can do masterboards, and I'll link that below as well. I did one where I framed my favorite pieces on the page on the masterboard and cut them out and created little stamps or tiny little labels. But it's so fun to do because you really don't have to think, and the more you don't think, the better they come out. So when I'm done here, I'll cut these up into different sizes for journal cards, tags, little stamps, label size pieces with some of the scraps, because they can get quite small as you cut these apart. And then I will add stickers and text and anything else that I've saved to use for creating pre-made tags and journal cards. So I will be right back and share with you the cards that I've created from these masterboards. So I just took out some of the things that I've received from some of my friends in swaps and some things that I think might go nicely on these tags and journal cards. And I laid them all out, and now I'll play. Okay, I chose an olive backing for these, and I did a little stitching, and you see I'm terrible at sewing, but I think these came out pretty nicely. And I started here with just a little scrap that was left over, and this was just so cool. It's a piece of the spine of a book. You can see where the signatures were here, where it was glued on there, and I thought that was kind of cool. And like I said before, I like to keep things somewhat thin, but every now and then, I mean, that's kind of cool. You gotta add a little something cool, and I don't know what I'll use with this. It could be part of a card, maybe, instead of a journal. This little piece was left over, and I thought this would make a really cool belly band, and I can tuck things in here, or I can slide a smaller piece in there. Not that one, but you know what I mean. That's better. Now you can see all the pieces that I got from that one sheet, and I don't believe I have any. I think I used everything. So I got two nice size cards that will probably be for especially this one for a greeting card because it's got a little bit of bulk on it. These are nice for journal cards, so I can put a little journaling section back here and then tuck it in somewhere. That looks kind of cool. And then I have all of these, and I don't always round the corners, but I started last night and I just kept going. So they're all rounded. You can make them square if you want. Some of them I was thinking about maybe cutting the corners off and making a tag, so that's a possibility. But yeah, you get a lot out of one piece, and I can fill up my ephemera box when I'm done. I've already started, and you know, I don't know, I've always stayed within the borders of my cards, but I see a lot of people letting things go off the side and just kind of being random, and I'm just gonna try that. And I don't know what I'm gonna add to this, but it looks kind of cool. This would be something cool to tuck in somewhere. I think I'd rather have it like this, but I don't know. We'll see.
So I just wanted to show you real quick before I start putting these cards together that I took a bunch of my die cuts for my Vagabond, my die cut machine. I also have the old Sizzix, but I love my Vagabond. And I just cut out, these are little pockets, so you would just fold them like this. I have the straight pockets too, but I kind of like these on the diagonal like that, so I'll attach these. And then there's some tags. I love this cute little stamp, and it's perforated, so I can either leave that there and stamp something or add something, or I can pop that out. Well, I'd have to use a blade, but really cute. And all these tiny little pieces that I'm not even sure. I know some of these are for folders, and I did not look at the photos to see what how these die cuts are used. I will eventually, but look how cute these little pieces are. So I just did another sheet of the olive, and I'm gonna play around with these with the stickers and some stuff that I have, and come back and show you what I did. And I will post the links. Some of these are from Dollar Tree. I think these I got from Amazon, so I'll check that and add the links to these. Very inexpensive. I think they were on Amazon Haul. And if you haven't tried out Amazon Haul, get ready. You're going to be addicted because it's even better than Amazon. It takes a little bit longer to get here, but I love Amazon Haul. You can pick up some really cool things to use in your journaling. So I will be right back with the finished products.
Okay, I'm ready to show you what I got out of that one sheet, but I didn't do the one on the right side with all the colors on it. I'll have to do that in another video because this was a lot. So some of these, like this one, I'm going to leave a little bit plain because whatever I'm working on, I can add a little bit to it later so that it matches the pages that I decide to use this in. Here's one. And here's the one that's probably going to go on a greeting card because of the bulk of that spine piece, but that I was able to use because it's not going to get stuffed in a journal. So I like that when they stand off the page. Then I have this one I just stamped onto a roll-off sheet that I had from one of my Gelli prints, and it had gold dragonflies on it too, so I cut out a dragonfly for this one. I'll show you that in a minute, but this one I left the tag again so I can put whatever it is that I'm working on. I can add something here to make it match the page better, and I just cut a circle out of a page to reinforce that so I could tie the string on it. And then, yeah, and that one I just glued onto this and then cut it out with the outline. So I think that's cool. I can stuff some other stuff in there. And I left a lot of the strings on because I like that. And this one, I love the little stamp, so I left it so that I can put something on it later. But this is, I mean, a lot of the work is already done. So when I'm working on something, I don't have to start from scratch. and it makes things go a lot quicker. I just used the one stamp today because I didn't want to drag all of my stuff out. This was one of the last ones I worked on, and this is scraps left over from a page that I used from a Collage soup page that I printed out. One of their, I think it was one of their freebies. I'm not sure which book this came out of, but I love these little fairies. And here's another one that I did the little pockets in and created a tag that I can add to later. And this is part of one of the, I think this is the die cut set that I got from Amazon, so I'll check that out and let you know. And I did the zigzag on the opposite side on some of these because I really like the way that looks. So this was the reason I decided to use this stamp, is because I had already stamped it on the master sheet. So it was out, and then this was part of that butterfly or the dragonfly roll off sheet, and it has some of those, my favorite blues in there. So I'm glad some of those colors got in there. And I can make this a journal card. But you see all those pieces that this is the upside down side, face up, face down of the, is it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yes. Okay. This was the face down. This is the side that we started on. And then I stamped on top of it. And then, oh, and wait to the end because there's one card that's not like the rest. This one, I believe I got this sticker from Sunny's Junk on TikTok. I'll have to check that out to be sure. But anyway, she sent me a bunch of stickers, and I really like this one. It says, "I don't need therapy, I need vintage ephemera." I love vintage ephemera, so I outlined it a little. There was already some gold on the page, but I outlined it and added a little bit. And then I just crumble up the thread and glue it. And sometimes, or maybe later, I might put something on top of that. And then I've got some tiny little pieces, and well, not so tiny. This one I had stamped, and I have a mushroom stamp and a butterfly stamp, and then I sit on the sofa at night and color everything in. But sometimes I like it just without being colored. I like that effect. I left them up a little bit, so that I'll leave and finish off later. And then here, I didn't want to do anything to this. I really like it the way it is. So later, when I see what I'm going to use it in, I might add a little bit of something, but I kind of like it just like that. Love that big vibe there. And then I made another one, and just I was putting a little piece of book page there, and it was too big, and I saw Do the Right Thing, and I tore that out. So I might add something later, but that'll get on a page to tuck something in. And here's the one with the ticket. I just added a little clip because I thought that was cute. I wish it was a different color, but I'll finish this one off later too. And then I had a tiny little piece left over and made just a label that I can throw in my ephemera box. And then as I was cutting out that roll-off page with the greens and blues and gold, I was going through for this very last one that I'm going to show you to try, and I had a hard time trying to finish it, and I found this and didn't end up using it, and laid it on top of that little piece from the masterboard, and I love it because it's shimmery and it has my favorite colors in it, so it's a little bit bluer than the aqua. So, and that's just a pocket that I'll glue into something later. Now here's the one that's not like the rest, but I love it. I got that little bee sticker. There's a set that I got from Dollar Tree, and I have no idea where I got these from. They don't stick very well, so I had to glue them down, but I love these, and the little wings come up. Oh, I'm gonna have to glue them down better. And then I found a matching green and made the tag reinforcement. So there they are. This is a fun project. I hope that you try it and post the links down below, post some pictures, or give us a link to your social media so we can see what you did with your master sheet. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.